Hello there, and welcome to my presentation on King Kamehameha and the Splintered Paddle. I will be relaying to you the story about how Hawaii took a huge moral leap in progress from an unexpected event. As I've gone over in my last video, long ago Hawaii lived under the kapu system, under the chiefs known as ali'i. The regular common folk, known as maka'ainana, or commoners, followed certain kapu and traditions that weren't written down but held great importance. The ali'i were men and women descended from the gods, who had great spiritual power, or mana. Some historians say that sometimes the ali'i would misuse their power, often during war, and because they were lazy or desperate, they would steal from the common folk, and if they resisted, they would be killed. Many atrocities were committed under these circumstances, and the people suffered greatly. Even if they only stole the food, often they would starve to death, because they simply took all their stock that they needed in order to support their population. Despite the kapu system having a strict form of law, the ali'i were often exempt from moral responsibility. However, King Kamehameha, when he became a ruling chief and united all of the islands, except for Kauai under his rule, stopped the fighting among the ali'i. He wanted the region to be orderly, and sought to impose rules that would better govern his nation. The very first edict is what we're going to be discussing today in the story that brought it about. He imposed this law known as the Law of the Splintered Paddle. He did this to shield the people from harm as they moved throughout the land under his control. It was his way of saying that the common people had a way to defend themselves even against the ali'i, even himself who might abuse power. Let us go into the story in detail now. As a young ali'i, King Kamehameha trained in the skills of warfare on the island of Hawaii. Where he lived, ali'i often raided lands under the control of other chiefs and frequently fought wars to increase their power. It was under these circumstances of hardship that he grew up, and he became an ali'i aimoku, or warrior chief. One day, on the Puna coast near Hilo, Kamehameha was retreating from a battle which he suffered defeat. He had tried to take the Hilo area away from another ali'i, but failed. His pride wounded, he set off in his canoe with his men to get even. His target was a peaceful village on the coast with deep cracks that had formed from hardened lava near the water's edge. Kamehameha had spotted some fishermen and their families on the shore. While his men waited in the canoe, he plunged alone into the surf to attack them. Most people ran away in fright, being greatly afraid of the menacing chief, which quickly closed in on the two fishermen. Waving his spear about, he was suddenly overtaken when his foot slipped into the crack of the hardened lava. Screaming out in pain, he fell. Seeing a chance to protect themselves, the fishermen turned to the struggling Kamehameha. One of them struck him right over the head with a heavy wooden paddle. The blow was so hard it splintered as it knocked him unconscious. Kamehameha awoke in a daze after they had long fled. They quit hitting him right after they knocked him out. These fishermen had no idea that they had just spared their future ruler. Kamehameha was rescued by his own men, and many of them wanted to hunt him down, but King Kamehameha said no. Kamehameha, surviving the blow and the humiliation, started to think to himself. He figured out that he had something to learn from that he was happy and grateful to be alive. They did not truly know if he was a chief or who exactly he was, but they had spared him, and this spurred a great gratitude within him. This led him to introspection about the role of power and justice within the Hawaiian Islands. With this one act of mercy, Kamehameha was able to continue his quest to conquer the Hawaiian Islands. He understood that with great power comes great responsibility. After he finally achieved a united island nation, Kamehameha the Great had a chance to tell the fishermen he was sorry. According to one story, he sent men out to find the fishermen in the villages. When the fishermen finally came to his presence, they were afraid that he was going to kill them. However, instead, he told them that he was sorry and that he was wrong to assault them. He pardoned them and gave them gifts of land and admitted his own mistake by proclaiming his new famous law. It was about 1797 that King Kamehameha the Great declared his first grand law for the islands, that innocents and defenseless shall be safe from unprovoked attack, even from his own chiefs. He pledged from that moment on that people should be able to move freely everywhere under his control, that people should feel as safe on the roads as they do in their own ohana, and that those who attacked, robbed, or murdered other subjects would be killed. The law of the Splintered Paddle read as thus: O people, honor thy God. Respect alike the rights of people great and humble. May everyone, from the old men and women to the children, be free to go forth and lie in the road, without fear of harm, break this law, and die. Ultimately, it was a great leap in human rights that made the Hawaiian Islands much safer to live in. It is a profound legacy of King Kamehameha, and to this day is still honored as a great achievement of mankind. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Edward Bolton for Class CM-320, my third mini project. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.